I've been dating Filipinas for over 5.5 years now. I'm not going to say how many. I'm not a player, but I'm not a saint either. And over that period, there's been many occasions when I've been entwined in my hotel room or condo with an attractive Filipina, magically mystified why she'd want to jump my old bones.
Hello, good morning, good evening, and welcome to Big World Cinema. Without further ado, we'll continue with what you're here for.
During those halcyon days of COVID, foreigners who'd remained in the Philippines at that time were swamped with Filipina attention. Well, certainly a lot more than I'd received back home during the previous decade anyway. With borders closed and actually being in the Philippines, you were their only option. But dating has changed drastically since I first arrived here in March 2020. For the worse, in my opinion. Now, when you chat with a Filipina, she's probably chatting with numerous guys online, all promising her the earth. You are not unique. You are disposable. Can be instantly displaced, usurped, ghosted. Like most women in the world, a Filipina will continually be searching for a better deal. And she's probably getting better offers 100 times a day from someone with more money, better looking than you. No wonder, I hear you cry. Take a good look in the mirror, Mr. Magoo. And when I do, I have to congratulate myself on managing to bed some semi-attractive Filipinas over the past 5 years. When you start dating in the Philippines, you need to ask yourself, what am I looking for here? Well, actually, it won't be you asking that question. It's them. I'm Sharon from the Philippines. What are you looking for here? It gets so tiring having to answer that question 20 times a day. So, are you looking for a Filipina for life or just a knee trembler at the back of the buffalo shed? Because they're two different beasts, or buffalo. The majority of Filipinas, in my opinion, want to be Disney princesses, expecting their fairy tale Hollywood ending. Even though they've been knocked up twice already and their baby fathers have vanished into the darkness. But Filipinas still dream their tall foreigner with coloured eyes will kick the door open of their local Jollibee saloon, saunter up to the counter and order a jolly spaghetti, no matter how sickly sweet it is, whilst glancing over in her direction and giving her the eye. In the big cities now, Cebu and Manila, you'll find the majority of Filipinas will be wanting, so demanding, expecting princess treatment only, and putting a hefty price on their hefty booties. So you head to the sticks instead. But as one of my viewers said, where do you meet them in the provinces? It's not as if they're all just lined up waiting for you on the sidewalk. Sorry, I assume he meant on the side of the road where you can't walk. You can spend hours trawling the department stores, checking out the checkout girls and pounding the streets. Or use the dating apps only to find that far fewer Filipinas outside the big cities use dating apps. And pretty soon you'll need to broaden your filters, increase your age range to include the over 40s and other undesirables.
This video is sponsored by The Dregs, a dating website for those who nobody wants, who stand a chance of getting laid.
My time spent in the big cities has provided far more dating successes than out in the sticks. But I've also been exposed to by a lot more ladyboys, not for the squeamish, gold diggers and everyday scammers wanting to relieve me of my hard-earned YouTube wages. But with a lot of patience, suddenly connecting with an absolute nugget of gold out of the blue makes those bum-numbing hours spent sat on the john sifting through website profiles worth it. So, it's the end of January, earlier this year. I'd been in Manila for 2 months already. I'm invisible walking around Manila, believe it or not, so I scour the dating sites instead. and was having mixed results with the ladies. One day, a girl from Cavite liked me on Pina Love. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the Pina Love dating app, whilst you're flicking through all the profiles, there's an option to show you're interested in that person, like swiping right on Tinder. I'd received notification messages on my email on those who've liked me, and 9 times out of 10 it'll be from someone who you wouldn't give the time of day. But I checked out this girl from Cavite, and she looked okay. On her profile was her Facebook details, which fortunately wasn't locked profile, which are so annoying now. So I messaged her on Messenger, introducing myself from Pina Love. Within half an hour, she messaged back, which was another surprise. Normally girls on Pina Love who show interest aren't really interested at all. So when you do message back, the 1 in 10, she doesn't respond. But the girl from Cavite did. Said she was working in a grocery store. Was looking for a serious relationship. As much as I hate that terminology, I'm not adverse to having a serious relationship with a Filipina, having been in one before. But nowadays she'd have to be extra special for me to want to be with her long term, or until I pop my clogs. "Wanna meet?" said the girl from Cavite. She'd recently turned 20. Too young for me, but appeared really interested. God knows what she saw in an ageing Mr. Magoo spoof, but anyway, I suggested we meet on Sunday. She said, "Where are you now?" It was Friday night. I was actually having a sundowner in BGC and sent her some photos of where I was located. "Come down if you're not busy," I said. "Sure," she replied. An hour later, I asked where she was. "I'm in Bacoor, Cavite," she replied. "I thought you were coming to meet me," I said. "Tomorrow," she said. So we continued texting. She asked my height. I told her I'm 6 foot tall. Or I was when I was 21, measured by my mum with one of those rulers you get in a cereal packet. Said she was 4 foot 9 inches, which is a little too petite for my liking. But I said that was great cuddling height. "You want cuddle?" she replied. "I can only kiss and cuddle," she said. "That's okay," I replied. So the following day, Saturday, I asked if she's free. "Next week," she said. Oh, here we go. So I suggested a video call to make sure she was real and not some hairy-ass guy in India winding me up. Yay! She was real. She looked good. After she hung up, she asked to see my ID. So I screenshotted my ACR card without showing my date of birth. We arranged to meet on Monday in 2 days' time. At first she asked if she could bring her sister, then fortunately changed her mind. We continued chatting. Said she felt comfortable talking to me. Said I was hot. The following day, Sunday morning at 9, she asked, "Can I come now?" "Sure," I said. 8 hours later at 5 p.m, she messaged again saying, "I can go there tomorrow." Oh gosh, I imagined I was stuck in Groundhog Day or Tomorrow Never Comes, which has happened so many times to me with Filipinas in the Philippines. Said she's not a shy type girl, but again repeated that we can only kiss and cuddle, that she wants a serious relationship. The following morning, Monday, the girl from Cavite asked what time we could meet. Asked me to book her a grab. So I booked her a car through InDrive app, which is cheaper. Her car arrived at my hotel around 11:15 a.m. I went down to pay for the taxi. Sat in the rear of the car, the girl from Cavite looked tiny. As I said earlier, she's 4 foot 9 inches tall. When she got out of the taxi, she really was so petite, but was rocking a very impressive rack. Dressed in skin-tight Olivia Newton-John jeans and a braless halter top, she'd certainly dressed wanting to seduce an old man, leaving nothing to my perverse imagination. Actually, on many Filipina dating profiles they will say, "No perverts." They have photographs of themselves dressed provocatively, but don't like you mentioning their physical attributes or even looking at them. Unbelievable. So up in my hotel room, the girl from Cavite sat nervously on my bed, whilst I sat on my chair opposite. Her breasts on her tiny frame looked huge. Oh Jesus. I'd seen her Facebook page with many photos, with one photo of her in a bikini, but the photographs didn't do them justice. All I could think about was, how long do I have to wait to get my hands on them? Actually, not long in this instance. We were soon lying down, kissing and cuddling as she had said, and I wasted no time in grabbing a feel of them. As I do, she starts playing with my Johnson. Jesus. But then all of a sudden, she withdraws, sits up, adjusts her clothing as if we'd got off to a wrong, or in my case right, start, and sits quietly for a moment. She then opens up about her dating history, says she's only had one previous boyfriend, a Russian guy who took her virginity when she was 19. Strangely enough, that was in Cebu City, where she'd been staying at Mabolo Garden Flats the previous year in April, when I was staying there. He was quite abusive, kept her like a slave in the room and treating her like a maid. Said he'd force her head down to give him oral. So she wasn't that keen on doing it or receiving it. She asked me, "Isn't it yucky down there?" Said that compared to her sisters, she had the biggest breasts. Great! She'd recently also had a new set of gnashers inserted, which seemed too large for her mouth. But that didn't bother me. My eyes were focused elsewhere. I just imagined Indian actress Padma Lakshmi was sat across from me. I needed to eat. Suggested walking to Jollibee around the corner, but she didn't want to leave the room. A lot of Filipinas are like that. Don't want to be seen in public with you, achieving unwanted attention and gossip. So I went to a carinderia nearby and brought us back Filipino food, which we ate on the bed. Afterwards we lay down again. She was keen to kiss, but this time we got more heated under the collar. My hand wandered tentatively south and my head reverted back 40 years to previous bedroom fumblings. Having been thwarted earlier, I didn't know how far I could go before I'd suddenly feel the grip of a tiny hand on mine wanting me to stop. But no, there was half a forest down there. Many Filipinas, I've noticed, don't shave their lady gardens. Why, baby, why? Having had the talk earlier about where she stood or laid down with adult topics, I hadn't thought I'd be reaching third base today. It's amazing how Filipinas quickly get comfortable with you, turn up at your hotel or condo, not knowing you for Adam, saying I'm shy. Then shortly after, you've got her knockers out, fingering her honeypot and her tiny hands rubbing your joystick. As she's pulling my pelvis towards her, I asked if she wanted me inside her. "Get a condo," she whispered. "What?" "Get a condo," she repeats. I should have just got one. I'm kicking myself that I questioned her use of the word condo. After all, she had told me kissing and cuddling only, remember? Actually, neither of us had come prepared, excuse the pun. My boy was rocking a weak stubble and I'd not dropped a blue pill to keep me in the game for longer than it takes to fill the stadium. Don't you remember your scout motto to be prepared? Actually, no, I didn't last long. Again, I got bullied at scouts, so I left after a short time. Not enough time to learn from my scouting days that when a young Filipina says to you when you're an old man, I can only kiss and cuddle, don't believe her. She's not going to say, I'm going to come to your hotel, meet you for the first time, let you play with my big melons and ride you till you've shot your load, is she? She's a good church-going Catholic girl. That would make her promiscuous. She's only 20 years old, damn it. Don't believe a word. Didn't you watch that video? By, who was it? That old git, Bigg World Cinema? You don't even watch your own videos. So, of course, the moment had gone, and the girl from Cavite had second thoughts again about hitting fourth base. Do you want to finish? She says, continuing to caress my Johnson. Shoot the white stuff? She continues saying. Jesus, innocent, but not innocent. Who'd have thought, looking at her? But I can't come today. No worries, I thought. She'll be back. Around 4 p.m, the girl from Cavite left, me sending her home by taxi. We were together around 5 hours. For the next few days, we continued texting, although I must admit the conversations were pretty dull and lacking any oomph. She then asked to borrow 600 pesos for her Phil Health, which she said she'd pay back when she returned to see me. I asked if she'd consider tending her lady garden. Sure, I can shave it, she said. How about if I send you some extra cash to get it waxed? Okay, she said. So I sent her 1,200 pesos instead. The following day, she said she'd stalked my Facebook and found I had a YouTube channel. Other times I've told Filipinas I'm a YouTuber. They unmatch me. Don't know why. But it didn't faze the girl from Cavite. 12 days after we'd met, Valentine's Day arrived. Filipinas love Valentine's Day. It means nothing to me. Vienna. We exchanged Valentine's Day greetings, but I didn't send her anything, which didn't please her. We continued messaging. She said she was going to come over again, but would never commit to a day. A few days later on TikTok, she posted an image holding flowers. I asked if she'd found somebody else. No, I'm not interested, she replied. You know I deleted my Pina Love account. I saw you got flowers. Oh, yeah, from a guy in the States. A few days later, a message came up on my Facebook of a thread of her saying, Sorry I'm stressing you out, Kev. I presume the flowers were from Kev too, but maybe not. I tell her I want to meet her again, but again she says she's busy. Then says that what happened with us together in my hotel room was wrong, as we're not boyfriend and girlfriend. So there's the rub. And that was that. Not believing I was a serious relationship kind of guy, the girl from Cavite aborted. Obviously checked out more of my YouTube videos. Ha! If you're not going to show me evidence of your shaven haven, I want my money back. Oh well, at least I experienced her fabulous assets. Once you've had your hands on a decent pair of melons, there's no going back to flat chests, in my opinion. I see photographs of Filipinas wearing bikinis with pieces of fabric covering a space where breasts should be, and I feel deflated. My Filipina girlfriend had great breasts, a great body really, perfect legs. From the window of my condo, I'd watch her sashay along the street in her wedge heels. In all my years in the Philippines, I didn't date a Filipina more than a 7 on the looks chart. Good bodies, but the boat race on a number of these Filipinas was a come down. Although it really doesn't matter what a boat race looks like if you just want to get jiggy in the dark. If you look at the wags of foreigners over 60 settled here, you won't see many stunners. Most will have made do. So if you like what you're seeing here, hello, and want to stay connected with life in the Philippines, I think you need to subscribe and click the notification bell. Thank you. All I'm reading on dating websites now is the expression date to marry, which is pretty strange to see and hear from a 20-year-old Filipina. That maybe the first guy they date will be their everlasting. I want to tell them that life doesn't work like that. There is no happy ever after. Not like it used to be last century if you hitched up with Doris Day. They'll be lucky to be together for 5 years now. Sure, there are some relationships that survive the test of time. But you just have to see the amount of single mums in the Philippines that most relationships appear transient here. Most foreigners, I believe, who come to live and look for a wife in the Philippines will be honourable. I'm talking about older dudes, 50s and upwards. Conflict appears in relationships when guys say he wants to be with her forever and ever, but turns out he just wants to pump and dump. The younger ones, well, let's just say, Filipinas believe that the majority of younger guys who stay in the Philippines are not seeking happy ever after. Happy endings maybe, but many Filipinas would generally prefer to seek out more mature foreigners, as they believe older guys have been through their playboy days and are more likely wanting to settle with one, not a harem. Of course, I'm generalising here. There are also younger Filipina party girls too who won't settle with one and want to experience what his best friend offers. The problem with coming to the Philippines in your latter years is that it's easy to fall into the mindset that these young Filipinas find you so attractive that you start to believe you're a bit of a stud, start acting like a playboy and play the field. So you might have come to the Philippines with good intentions of settling down with one Filipina, but your mind, ego and manhood have gone off in different directions. I recently met up with an American guy in his 40s. He's been visiting the Philippines for a few months at a time for the past 3 years to look for a wife to start a family. He's a Catholic, so shares similar values with regard Christian and family ethics, and insists that the girls he meets have never been with a foreigner before. On his most recent visit to the country, travelling to different cities to search for a wife, he slept with 46 women in just under 3 months. Now look, each to their own. I'm not someone who stands on high moral ground telling people how to conduct their affairs. But that doesn't sound like the behaviour of someone coming to the Philippines to seek a wife. If you're here to play, say so. If you're going to behave like a playboy, be upfront about your intentions. Foreigners behaving like monsters is going to have a knock-on effect on the rest of us. I'm finding more and more Filipinas on dating sites who are fed up with being taken for a ride, so to speak, and are more transactional, wanting to get paid to get jiggy, saying, "Nobody wants serious here, guys just want to have fun. Fun isn't for free. If you want to get jiggy, you're gonna have to pay for it. However, two can tango. In a recent video, I talked about Filipinas going online saying they're looking for a serious relationship, but actually they're not. They're just saying that and offering other kinds of briefer liaisons. So it's more confusing than ever that you're thinking that you're gonna be with them for the everlasting, but they're just wanting a quickie. Paid. Or, better still, unpaid. One of my favourite liaisons in the Philippines occurred during my first year living in Cebu.
Just a quick reminder to please click the thumbs up button if you liked the video, or thumbs down button if you didn't. Obviously. Thank you.
One Saturday night, I started chatting with this girl I'd matched with on Badoo. She was a 22-year-old student studying education in Cebu. Now, this was during my pre-Mr. Magoo era, when I had hair and a beard. She made fun of my appearance, but thought I had a good body. What normally happens with these girls is that after a day of constant texting, they will totally disappear the following day. So a lot of the time, to check if they're really interested in me, I'd wait and see if they texted first, which of course 99% of the time they don't. But at 3 p.m. the following day, the bad girl texted, "Hey!" then exchanged a couple of messages which were pretty subdued compared to the previous day. Eventually, she said her bad mood was due to her hunger. "Come to IT Park and I'll feed you," I said. She thought I was joking, but we meet in IT Park at 4:30 and headed back to my condo nearby. She was cute, slim and petite, but clearly moody. Back at my condo, I sat in my chair while she sat on the bed. There's a pattern here. She chats about her family, the 57-year-old German boyfriend she'd had the previous year, said she was open-minded, opinionated, watched porn. I made her some food and we drank a beer. Said she was planning on meeting a friend later tonight, but as her friend hadn't called, she decided to stay the night with me. Borrowing a pair of my boxers, we started getting intimate. She had a tight body with a slim waist and cute butt. Her breasts were small but large nipples, plus an extra inch-long hair that hadn't been plucked, which was kind of off-putting. Did she not know it was there? Why was it still there? I was reminded of one of my first girlfriends back in the day when I was a teenager, who I dumped after 9 months because of her hairy cleavage. Mature, huh? In the sack, the bad girl was amazingly gifted with her mouth and hand, and it wasn't long before I exploded over her hand and shoulder. Whoops! We then got jiggy with her insisting on me wearing a condom, or a condo, saying she didn't want to get pregnant, which was a first. She appeared to be a complete nymphomaniac. Her educational degree was more likely her devouring the Kama Sutra as she moved us into various athletic positions with my yoga moves to the test. Again, finishing me off with her expert finger technique. Rarely have I met a Filipina who knows how to manipulate the male organ like she, especially at the young age of 22. Geez. At 6 a.m. in the morning when her alarm went off, the bad girl started creating tunes on my organ again. Boy oh boy. "See you next year," she quipped as she left my condo, or condom, never to be seen again. She was one of the few Filipinas who've insisted on wearing a condom or condo, as if they're unaware of STDs. None of them have said, "Don't come inside me." Actually, most of them have wanted me to come inside them. Oh, what joy! A father at 65. Could you Adam and Eve the thought of having a father to your baby who looks like Mr. Magoo? Happy travels, everyone.
You've been watching Uncle, the man from Bigg World Cinema.
Please like, subscribe and share with your friends.